So I'm on the North Shore today, riding a classic lap. Now there's two features on these trails that mess up probably 80% of the riders that ride these trails. Everyone goes around. They're big, they're steep, and they're pretty technical. So hopefully I feel good enough on the bike today to knock those features out for you guys. Let's see how it goes. So the last video I did with the T9 a few weeks ago, I rode it bone stock. If you guys missed that video, I'll post a link to it in the description box or up at the top of the screen here. But I had a blast riding this bike, and I thought it was great simply because the build on it was hand-picked by some of the riders at Bikes Online. And let me tell you, they have some rippers over there that know exactly what counts when putting a build package together. It was by far the best Siskiu T bike that I've ever ridden. But there's definitely a couple of things that I was able to pick out. And again, this is just me being super nitpicky, but a few things on it to upgrade. So like I told you guys in the last video, I ordered a bunch of parts from Bikes Online just to make this bike as awesome as I could make it. My aim for any trail bike, that is to make it as capable on the climbs as possible, as light as possible, but not at the detriment to lose capability on the trails, right? A light bike is nice and easy to climb, but if you're gonna be worried about breaking anything on these harsh trails out here on the shore, there's no point. Keep it heavy, keep it strong, keep it durable. So I ordered a few parts and I broke my cardinal rule. Let me show you guys what I mean. So I don't know about you guys, and I don't know if it's just me and my OCD, but I'm the kind of rider when I build or spec out bikes that I like the front suspension fork to match the rear shock, right? Same brand. I know it probably has nothing to do with how the bike feels. It's just, to me, the front and back match. I know that the companies have thought about all the valving inside the suspension, making these two products work very, very well together. And when something just doesn't match, I don't know, my OCD just kicks in and just says like, wait, there's something wrong here. So I broke my first cardinal rule, is I got another front fork that I've never ridden before. A couple weeks ago, I posted a video of me putting a Z1 coil fork on my Superior EXF. And then I went and rode Burke Mountain with Jordan Boostmaster. It was an awesome ride. The bike felt so good, and we rode some gnarly trails. If you guys missed that video, again, it's in the description box below. But man, I had a really good time riding that fork, and it was a great fit for that bike. And again, now we're riding a fork from a company I've never ever ridden before. I've never ridden a DVO fork. Now this is a Diamond Series DVO fork with 160 mils of travel. It's 20 millimeters more than the Fox 36 the T9 comes with. And I don't know about you guys, but to me, I'm riding the trails here in Vancouver. They're steep, they're chunky. The compressions at the bottom of all the chutes, they're pretty sharp. The G-outs are very, very hard. And having a little bit of extra cushion up front makes for a much, much more capable bike, in my opinion. And that's because of two things. First, it brings out the front and pushes it out a little further in front of you. This gives me more confidence when the trails get super, super steep. And the other thing it helps with is picking up the front end of the bike is much easier when it's already 20 millimeters up in front of you, right? It's so much better. To me, That's how this Siskiu T9 should have been spec'd with. A little bit of a taller fork, but we got it on now. So I'm really hoping that this makes the bike super comfortable and confidence inspiring when the trails get steep. And trust me, on these two trails, there's two features that get really, really steep. So hopefully this bike's gonna feel awesome on those. The next thing I did to the bike was I ordered a pair of Tidal carbon bars for the front. Now I usually run the 1-Up carbon bars and I absolutely love them, but reading up on Tidal's description, they have the same 35mm rise and they have the same anti-vibration technology built into these bars. So I'm super excited to try them out. They sell them at Bikes Online. You can just order them with your bike. Makes it super, super simple. And then I matched it up with a Tidal stem. So nice and short, brings the bars as close to me as possible, and then puts me in a more relaxed position. So I'm super stoked. Hopefully these feel great. I never knew this, but did you guys know they have e-bike chargers in the woods? Look at this thing. It's so well installed and all the cables run right through the tree. How sick is that? I also changed the other two contact points on the bike. For the seat, I went with the Chromag Trailmaster. I love this seat. I have it on a few of my bikes. For pedals, I went with the big Entity platform pedals that Bikes Online sells. These things are inexpensive. They're really big. They give your foot a lot of real estate to stand on. And they have very, very big, long metal pins. They give you a ton of grip. Moving on to the drivetrain. Now this bike comes with XT shifter and derailleur, which is awesome. XT cranks, again, awesome. But the rear cassette is a Dior cassette, which is all steel. It feels great, it works well. It's got amazing durability, but it's just heavy. So I bought an XT cassette just to match. This shaves off a few grams and still gives me that crisp Shimano shifting. Another thing to help with the shifting and how smooth the drivetrain is I went with an actual Hyperglide chain from Shimano. Now the bike comes with a KMC chain. It works well, it's compatible. It's just, I always feel like there's a little bit of added resistance with the KMC chains. I've rode it on a few bikes, and a few months ago when I did the N7 build series, I changed everything to Shimano. I went with a Hyperglide chain and it made a big difference as far as how crisp the shifting is. And also it totally reduced any friction or any resistance that the chain has to just fall into place on those teeth. Everything just works. It just feels so much smoother. And finally, the last thing I changed on the drivetrain was the chain ring. I went with a 30-tooth oval chain ring. It just totally rounds out your pedal stroke and it feels like you're able to put power everywhere. Just makes you feel superhuman. And this one's a 30-tooth. The chain ring that the T9 comes with is a 32. So this makes my gearing just a little bit easier throughout the range for the steep climbs we have here. Now for the brakes, guys, I didn't have to do much to the brakes. It already comes with my personal favorite brakes. These are by far the best I've ever felt, I've ever tried, and I've ever owned on any bike before. I run them on most of my bikes. Of course, they're the TRP DHR Evos. The one thing I did change on this bike is I did upgrade the rotors to 203mm rotors. The bike comes with 180s. Great for 90% of the riders that are gonna bite this bike, right? They fit the whole trail bike vibe. But again, you guys know the trails in Vancouver here on the shore, as well as throughout the valley, Squamish, we have steep trails. And the extra power that I can get from the 200mm rotors is gonna pay off in dividends. And finally, the last thing I changed on the bike, I told you this T9 was almost perfect, but I changed quite a bit on it just to make it the absolute best trail bike that I own. Now, The last thing I changed on it was the wheels and tires. The wheels that the T9 comes with are fairly generic. They're the Entity brands. These are the same wheels you'll find on most of the trail bikes, most of the enduro bikes, as well as even some of the e-bikes. They're 35 mil wide. They're big, heavy, chunky trail and enduro wheels. They're strong, they're aluminum, but they're heavy. So I went on Bikes Online and I picked out a set of 29-inch Spoke X wheels. These are the SX30s. They come pre-built with really good hubs and ready for Shimano cassette. They're lighter, they're a little bit thinner, and they give me a lot less rolling resistance, so much better for climbing. The other thing that makes this bike better for climbing are the tires I put on there. I went with the good old Schwalbe Hans Dampf, and these are the trail casing. The knobs are soft enough to give me a ton of traction here, and the casing is light enough to reduce the rolling resistance. Again, it's just a little bit lighter of a tire, but this is where you're gonna find the biggest difference that makes when it comes to climbing. Reduce the weight of your wheels and tires, right? The other thing that helped me reduce some weight, of course, was going tubeless. Luckily, the wheels already come pre-taped, so all I had to do was get my favorite sealant, which is of course the Muc-Off sealant, put it in there, seal it up, and I'm good to go. For a little bit of longevity and just to protect the rear rim, I did add one Ckech trail to the back wheel. Now Ckech makes a bunch of different versions of their tire inserts. They make some for downhill, they make some for e-bikes, they make a lighter version for trail, which is the one I have here in the bike. They also make gravel, they make it all. So go check them out. They totally protect your rims against those sharp square edges on roots and rocks. And they actually give you a ton of support in the corners. So you can run even less tire pressure than you usually do, giving you more traction, and it keeps all the rigidity of the sidewall for those berms and corners. It's like magic in your tire. Okay, enough chatting about the bike. What do you guys say we drop into our first trail? Let's go. Let's go. First trail of the day. Ooh. Nice. All right, so far, very positive first impression. This bike rides so well. Plush off the front, really good brakes. I can stop on a dime. This is awesome. And hey, I'm trying out a new angle with this GoPro Hero 12. I've got the Max Lens 2.0 on it. It's in max hyper view, as wide as I can. I'm hoping to be able to ride with my little half lid and catch as much of the trail as possible so I can get some 16:9 videos for YouTube, as well as shorts for reels and TikToks and shorts. So guys, let me know what you think of the angle. Is it too wide? Should I narrow it down a little bit? Let me know. These videos are for you guys. Woo! Yep, down here. Spicy. Nice. This fork feels so good. Yeah, go this way. I haven't ridden this trail in a while. Don't really know where to go. Well, we'll figure it out. Okay. A little skinny. Woo! I'll try and keep the lens nice and clear like a dummy. I forgot to put a fender on this bike. I usually ride with the Mud Hugger Long Evo on most of my bikes. Keeps the mud and water out of my face and off the camera lens. Okay, stay on track. Nice. Okay, I think this is where our first spicy feature is. Let's go check it out. Okay, so we get on this log ride. It's nice and dry, so should be fine. Stay in the middle, try not to catch your bars here. It's a little wobbly, but this thing's been here for years. It should be fine. Stay on the flat surface. Come out, try not to catch your bars here. And then right after this, you gotta get some speed and get up this monster, all the way up and down this spicy mama. So it's a little tricky because, as you can see, a lot of people catch their chain rings here. So I'm gonna try and come up where it's mostly rounded and not so sharp up here. And then I'm gonna try my best to stay on the outside of this thing. It goes down, flattens out, and then a big G out here in the middle onto the rocks, and then over. Here's a little side view. So you come up, get enough speed to get up onto the rock, and then once you're on the rock, it's a pretty steep wood bridge. It's got a bit of grip, but I mean, it's dry today, so it should be fine. And then you've got a little, it's almost kind of like a triple step. Go down here, step. This is a pretty harsh G out here, and then keep turning and back onto the trail. Let's see if we can do it. Okay, man, you got this. Get on, stay in the middle, don't hit my bars. Oh yeah, okay, get some speed here. Oh yeah, nice. Oh hell yeah. First feature, check. Let's keep going. So there's one more feature that's just as spicy on the next trail we're gonna ride. And I'm excited to see if it's still there and if it's changed at all. Little spicy roll here. Oh yeah, nice. Woohoo! This is where the extra 20 mils of travel comes in handy on those spicy little steep chutes. Okay, come on, man. Let's go. Oh man, this bike feels so good. It's light, it's sharp, and the extra travel up front makes it so much more capable out here. So good. Oh, oh. Yeah. Woo. So far, so good. I'm using all my travel, which means I probably have a little bit less air than I should. So I'll probably put another 10 PSI in the fork, and that'll help me getting all the way down to the bottom. And I think I've got my rear shock set up a little soft too. I'm kind of using all the travel. So 10 PSI in the front, 10 PSI in the back. The drivetrain feels amazing. Super smooth, super crisp. The brakes, come on. 203 mil rotors with the TRPs. This bike feels sick. Let's drop into number 2. Woo! Oh man. Yeah. This bike is just so sharp. I love it. Okay. I haven't ridden this in a long time, so I may stop and take a look at a few things, see if anything's changed, you know. Ooh. Okay. Oh man, such a well-built trail. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. All right, here is our spicy feature number 2. Let's go check it out. So this one's kind of like riding the plank on the pirate ship. You got the 6-inch wide skinny little squirrel catcher, and then you come onto this huge boulder that's been perfectly sliced in half. Here, I'll show you guys the side. So here it is from the side. You got the little skinny up to a larger platform and then straight down. It's about, I think it's steeper than 45. It's pretty spicy. A lot of people are sketched out because right here at the top, a lot of people catch their chain ring. The longer bikes there, they catch the chain ring and then you kind of get hung up. So the idea is to come at it with a decent amount of speed and then just hop in to the rock. Let's see how it goes. All right, you got this. Oh, yeah. Yoo-hoo! Let's go up on here. Nice. That's just a flat waiting to happen. Woo! What nice berms. Yeah. Whoa. Coming in hot. Woo! Oh! That front fork just saved my bacon there. I was going over the bars for sure with a 140 fork. Okay, this one here. All right, that's pretty smooth. Woo! Oh yeah, fresh work. There's always fresh work here. Todd and the crew always maintain these trails to perfection. Mr. Digger and your digger crew, thank you so much for the work you guys do here. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. That's it for me today. We knocked off the two features that were scaring me, but you know what? The T9 is shining. If you guys like what you saw, the playlist here has got you covered with some more riding on the North Shore. I'll see you guys over there. You!